Hello, welcome Sestras to SestraNow's Workshop Wednesday. I'm joined tonight with our Sestra, Adrienne Harper Smith. She is also our safety, our deputy COO, head of safety for SestraNow. And so tonight we're going to speak on the topic of business etiquette. Okay, so just as a disclaimer, these are my 13 things, my pet peeves that I put together based on my experience and what I've witnessed to be in this time of virtual meetings, in the time of Zoom, in a time of like, there is this huge thing, this whole huge movement of small business owners now. Hence the reason, SestraNow started to, yes, to create the sisterhood, but also we have our marketplace because there are a lot of small women business owners, small business owners, right? Not small in terms of their income, but pretty much a lot of entrepreneurs that are going out there and doing their thing. So, but what I'm finding is it's kind of getting like the wild, wild west, right? So I put together a little PowerPoint presentation as we announced. It is my 13 tips based on my experience. Again, for those that didn't read the prelude to this, I'm an admitted attorney in the state of New York. I have over 25 years experience running around the courthouses of New York and Long Island. So I know what it is to work for medium-sized, large law firms, also huge insurance companies. So I know what it is to work in corporate America. I know what it is to be in that boardroom. I know what it means to be even in in law school, that only African-American woman in the class, right? So I can, approach this from different perspectives. But one thing I do know is your brand, you represent your brand. So it's very important that you represent it properly, because when they look at you, they judge you quickly. So first impressions, and as this is entitled, all impressions do matter. So let's get started. We're going to make this quick. I don't want to do more than 30 minutes. So let's get started. I am going to share my screen. And let's get started with this PowerPoint. Okay. Adrienne, help me a little bit. You can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right. So business etiquette. You are your brand. So let's get to talking. Okay. So really, I have like 13 tips here, but to get started, the top 10 business etiquette tips. Properly represent your brand at all times, as I stated. If you are not a business owner and attending a business meeting, these still apply. If you would not go to a corporate or in-person meeting doing these things, don't do it virtually. Respect the small business owner the same way you do any large company. That small business owner may have an opportunity for you one day and skip you as a contender because of the way you represented yourself when they started out. We're starting out. So I am going to try to share the whole screen. Okay. So number one, unless it is a last minute meeting or a surprise, show up to a pre-scheduled meeting on time. Pre-scheduled meeting, show up on time. There's no reason for you to be jumping into that Zoom or jumping into even an in-person meeting 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, or 30 minutes into it. Okay. Show respect, show that you care a little bit by at least trying to be there on time. So that pretty much goes without saying, I would think. But because it looks like we're in the wild, wild west right now, I just think I have to share that. And another thing, your appearance is important. Everything, your hair, your face, your clothes should be appropriate for the type of meeting that you are attending. So keep these things in mind. So really, like, there's no reason to come with a scarf on your head. if by any chance you cannot have yourself in a way, I'm not saying you have to act like you're going to the White House or something, but if you wouldn't go into your physical corporate office a certain way, think of Zoom as the same way. So it's my opinion, you should be prepared for whatever type of meeting it is to be presentable, right? Your background matters. Select a virtual background that and make sure that your background is not unprofessional or unkept. And we've seen that, I know you probably have seen that too, Adrian, right?
Have
It is very important. It matters. Okay, number 4. In this age of virtual meetings, it makes a very good impression if you are on camera for pre-scheduled meetings, right? A lot of times you'll see on these Zooms, you see a lot of people off camera because first of all, maybe their appearance is not properly, or they don't have the proper background, or they're doing other things, but they want to show their support, right? But if it is a pre-schedule, a meeting that's important to you, you want to be on the camera, because if you're off the camera, that means that really it's just, this is a professional meeting, you should just be on it, because that means you're not making you didn't prepare for it, or it's not a priority for you. But is not the case for all meetings. Some meetings are casual. But if it's a business meeting and it really means something to you, you should make every effort to be prepared for that meeting and be on camera. If you are off camera, it sends a message, whether you like it or not. It means that that person or that meeting is not important enough for you to be prepared for it, period. Number 5, children should not be in the meeting with you unless they are a guest or involved. So many times I've had meetings and I see that the children are in the background. Now, if it is the kind of meeting where it's very casual and informal, fine. Like a meeting among the Sestras, that's fine. But any other type of business meeting, really, we should not see the whole family. We shouldn't see a whole bunch of stuff going on in the background, or you should be off camera. That is my opinion. And after this is over, we can go. I would love to hear from everyone about, what their perspectives are on this. So next slide. All right. This is another one. And again, these are my pet peeves and things that I observe. Driving while back. Driving while conducting a meeting, means to me it's not a priority for you. Because especially if these are pre-scheduled meetings at a certain time and it's a business meeting, it's not a casual meeting, it is actual presentation and a business meeting that matters to you. To me, you're not going to take it in your car. Eating or cooking means is not a priority for you. That's my opinion. But you know what, since we're moving through these kind of quick, how about I get anyone's perspective on what I've said so far? Let's fight.
I think with number 6, you're talking about driving. I think sometimes people try to schedule and sometimes life takes over. Like they want to be there, but if they're the person conducting the meeting, I think that's not a good look. Even if you could have to be in your car, I think at some point you need to pull over to the side of the road, but not trying to drive and look and pay attention and talk at the same time.
Yes.
So I agree to disagree with that one just a little bit, because sometimes stuff does happen. But just on general, if you know it's pre-planned, try to show up on time, like you said. Eating and cooking. Not if you're conducting the meeting. Some people, I've seen people do it, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm guilty of that sometimes if I'm on a meeting and I'm a little hungry, and I feel I can't. I gotta put something in my mouth before I get nauseous. I will do that, but I think moving forward, if I have to do that, I need to turn off the camera. So
Eh,
it puts things in perspective of some of the things that you are saying.
yeah, you know what I want to say? Remember, I am coming from a really conservative corporate background. As I said, I'm admitted as an admitted attorney in New York. Let me make sure I can see the chat. And as Carmen says, she lost sound. Um, can you hear me, Adrian?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I think it was her camera.
Oh, okay, okay. So, yeah, so I am coming from a place that, that's why I want your opinion. This just did not happen. Unless it was a working lunch meeting, you did when the boss called a meeting in the boardroom, you didn't come in with your sandwich, right? Maybe you came in with your tea or something, but you didn't come in with your full sandwich. You definitely wasn't making the sandwich there at the boardroom table. A serious meeting, again, we're talking about serious business meetings. Um, Especially ones, where it's going to be recorded, it's going to be viewed later. It's a Zoom meeting with your boss, or it's a Zoom meeting for your company. What I'm trying to do is to get people to understand small business owners having meetings should be taken just as seriously
Mhm.
as you would a meeting in corporate America. This is not the Wild Wild West. Have that respect, for that other business owner, the same respect that you would want to have if you were doing a pitch for $1 million, right? For someone to give your business $1 million, how are you going to show up to that meeting? You're not going to do any of that crap. You're not going to do any of the stuff that we're talking about. You're going to come on your A game. So why not do it and respect that other business owner the same way? Okay. Um, Another point here, talking to anyone else during the meeting means you are not focused on the meeting and it is not a priority. It's unprofessional and disrespectful. Mute your phone. Now, we all know that person, right? Where you can hear a whole discussion, you can hear the television in the background, you can hear the radio, you can hear the traffic outside, everything. Just mute your phone, right? And of course, don't be on camera if you have that much going on in the background. And sometimes I understand that, like, you have a lot going on, but you really want to show support for someone. Fine. If you really you didn't plan it, you jumped on at the last minute, you're just trying to show some support. Fine. Be off camera. Definitely be on mute, right? And don't interrupt. Most importantly, don't interrupt the flow, right? Anyone have anything to say about number 8? Please feel free to jump in. Okay, number 9. Woo, this is a new one and a big one these days. Those AI photos, artificial intelligence photos. I believe we've definitely reached a point of, like, it's out of control. So AI photos can be overused and disingenuous if they
Mhm.
misrepresent you. For example, if you don't look anything like the photo, it is clearly misleading. And I have heard, um, I've heard people say when they watch, a video and they actually see the person, they're like, "How is that? Is that person?" You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. They look absolutely nothing like every single photo.
Mhm.
Like, that's ridiculous. I think that's disingenuous. I would love to get someone's perspective on this new AI movement with photos, these photos that you're kind of substituting as your professional photo when we know that don't look like you. I mean, there's some people showing their belly button, where that's not their body. But it's fun to do it in a casual way on your social media, if you're doing it for fun, but like for business, I don't think so. Please, anyone wants to share their perspective on that?
Well,
Yeah.
oh,
Go
sorry. Go
Carmen.
ahead, Adrian.
No, go ahead, Carmen.
Okay. I was going to say some people, even before AI, some people still don't look like their photos. But, but some of the AI photos really, really look, they're not the best of the AI thing. So it really, really, truly does not look like you. But I see when people do, makeup can change how you look as well if you have a whole lot of makeup. And many people, when they're doing things like for their books and stuff like that, they either use a younger picture, or they use a picture that was like super made up or whatever, and it doesn't look like them either. So I'm not gonna doubt down the entire AI. It's just like you said, does it represent you, because
Yes.
most of us don't really truly. I know for me, I can look like whatever, and as soon as I put a little bit of makeup on, and I'm not even talking about the big fancy makeup, just put a little bit of makeup on in my hair, I look totally different.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
um so it's mostly, does is it even anything remotely like you? But can you use the AI that is doing well, that just kind of enhances your pictures? I mean, even some of the filters, right? The filters, people that they don't like, and people love filters. Like, I was someplace one day and I was trying to take a picture, and she was like, "Wait a minute, nope, we gotta have on Snapchat so that we can have a filter. I can't take a picture without that, you know." So I hear you, but I'm not gonna be too whatever about it. I'll probably just go, oh, maybe it's a younger picture, or it doesn't look like you. And people tell me I don't look like me all the time, especially the fact that I change my hair up.
Yes.
I wear a lot of wigs, I wear weaves, I wear locks when I have my locks, and even with my locks, I sometimes put my locks up and wear a weave or or something, so it doesn't look like me. So, but I
Carmen, it looks like we lost you.
nope, and
Okay, go
that's it.
ahead.
That's it. Cool.
So yeah, like to that point too. What if, right? I propose a question. What if it's not about appearance? Like, you always have a professional look, but that photo is you 25 years ago. Is that appropriate for a professional? We're talking about using AI for business, right? As your, when someone says, please share this a photo for the flyer, right? So now you're on that marketing material. That's the AI photo. Now they see you on the Zoom. Is that appropriate? When it literally is 25 years, that was you 25 years ago. Is that appropriate?
I don't know. I don't know if I should say it's not, right? I guess it's a matter of preference. And I guess you also invite questions, because if you don't totally look like you, somebody might say, is that really you? So you invite questions when the image is not, the likeness is not even remotely close to what you look like now. Um, I literally, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna post it. I literally looked at the picture, and that's the other thing. I think that we at ourselves, when we're looking at the picture from 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and we're looking at ourselves now, in our minds, we look the same. It's other people don't will see that, oh wait, that picture doesn't really look like you, or it was when you were younger or something like that. And the other day I was looking at a picture. I have lots of pictures because I used to be a school teacher. We take pictures twice a year.
Yes.
And I pulled up one of those pictures, which was about 17 years ago. And I looked at the picture and I'm like, this still looks like me, but I have to put it against something from now and see it, to your point, what it is. Because in my mind, I'm still looking like that same same person. Matter of fact, I think I look younger now because I lost some weight.
Yeah, but I think that's like looking at actual pictures. But I think what people do too much, and I'm seeing it. It's one thing to use a filter to kind of clean up like she's talking about the background, but like you said, the actual see me looking one way here, and then the AI is all bubbly and no blemishes, or just too fine, too 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 perfect looking, I should say. Every human has one little flaw about you can see the smile line more versus when they make the AI. Now you have no smile line. And then when you see them on the Zoom, you're like, wait a minute, what the, like she's saying, then you're looking at the marketing picture compared to who's speaking, and you're like, wow, that's different. So I think in a way it's misleading, and it tilts your trust on what you're saying to them in
Ooh, that's a good point.
your business.
That's a good point.
Because to me it's like, oh, she's too fake, but at least she's real with her natural blemishes or natural haircut. Even if you're changing your wig, changing your hair, I go from my little twist I got in my head now to a wig, to braids, to a weave, but basically the structure of your face is the same. It's just your hair that's different, even if you throw makeup on or not, but I think AI, when it comes to professional pictures, I think if you're a business owner, you should kind of limit that. But if you're doing marketing stuff with AI, I say go wild with it, it makes it easier. But as just if you're talking about a portrait of representing your brand and your picture, if you're the only person in your brands, I think it's a fine line with tweaking what you look like. You always want to look good, but don't overdo it. I think that's what I would say as my opinion. That's just my theory on it.
Yeah, and that's very welcome. Thank you. Thelma wants to say something. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. My picture was up there, but it's gone. Zoom and me do not get along.
It's okay. It's okay.
I keep a picture up there.
You know what? So do you want you want to say something about something that was said?
Yeah. Just quickly, I agree with all the points that you put, every last one, and I've experienced all of those points trying to do Zoom meetings with Mary Kay customers or group meetings with people. I mean, I've even had people laying in the bed with bonnets. I mean, I just don't.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. I don't.
Are you serious? Are you really serious?
Thelma, you're not. I mean, Mary Kay or any business meeting. I've also had that bonnet experience, but we see these recorded videos on Facebook, don't we? And these people are dead serious about what they're presenting, but they don't seem to understand that no one is paying any attention. They're just looking at you like, who is this crazy woman or man?
Right.
They're not paying attention to what you're doing.
Right. And, the thing of it is, I would show up without any makeup on or anything like that, just natural, because I'm promoting skincare. And I think a lot of people are not comfortable with what their skin looks like. Okay, we all have certain things we need to work on, but then work on it. And you need to show up as you are. A lot of people are suffering from imposter syndrome, and AI is just going to make that worse. And, AI is good and everything, but we need to be able to show up and, present yourself, They look good on paper, but they don't show up.
Thelma, can you tell a little bit about, like you mentioned a good point. I don't have that on my list, but you said some people are suffering from imposter syndrome. For those viewers that may not understand that, can you just elaborate a little bit on what you mean?
I've seen some great profile pictures of folk, very professional and everything like that. They list all these things that they have done.
Mhm.
And then sometimes I go in and I just want to engage with people and find out what they're doing, and they can't explain themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're projecting something that you aren't for people to just click on your profile or something like that. And then they cannot present what they have to give to people. And that's imposter. And that's rampant on Facebook.
Yes.
So
And so,
these people
mhm.
don't know how to show up. That's the problem.
Right.
They really don't know how to show up. And even if you try to, just like with your points, if you got on a live and put those points up there, you would get all kind of negative reaction from people that don't want to accept that this is what you don't do if you're in business. And you're absolutely correct. Instead of taking it and making themselves better.
Yes. But
And
you
I
know
see
what?
that rampant. Right.
That's a disclaimer, right?
Yeah.
Look, whatever points I'm making here today, it's on you, right?
That's right.
We as Sestras, this is what we're supposed to do. We are about uplifting and empowering each other financially, physically, and
Right.
mentally. And there's a lot. We have a marketplace on our app for the products and services
Right.
of the women business owners. And we have attorneys on there, as accountants.
Right.
We have women that have been on billboards in Times Square in Manhattan recently, right?
Right.
Like there are some powerhouse women that are part of
Yes.
SestraNow. Too
Yes.
busy to attend these things. So if you want to be taken seriously by
Right.
that caliber of woman or man,
Mhm.
that's on you. You want to show up in your bonnet, just know they're not listening. They are not listening to not a word you're saying. If anything,
Exactly.
they're looking like, wow, what is
Exactly.
this? This is the circus. What is
Yep.
going on here? They're not taking any of us seriously.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's happening. And right now I've gotten to the point where sometimes I'm like, okay, and Sestra is a great group, just like you said. But even for people that need financial help or whatever, they may show up, but they don't want to do the work. That's the other thing. Sometimes you have to work at certain things and you have to take baby steps. And a lot of people don't even want to take baby steps to make themselves financially secure. So it's like you're continually running on a hamster wheel, trying to get these people to understand you're trying to help them.
Adrian and I was just talking about that, and we were talking about, then I'm going to move on because I have some more points. I have up to 13.
All I got to say. Yeah.
But we were talking about like how we as women, if we really, really united, made the decision to unite instead of thinking about my thing, my business,
Right.
my thing. Like last night, Adrian and Carmen and I met to talk about YouTube stuff, right? And then today I told Adrian, I said, what if instead of, she's focusing on her YouTube, I'm focused on my YouTube, Carmen's focused on her YouTube, Thelma, you're focused on your YouTube, and we all try to get to this 1 million number or whatever, 100,000, whatever's going to get us monetized and paid. What if, and I'm going to propose this and I'm going to move on because I don't want to get off subject, but what if we all focused on one channel? It doesn't have to be SestraNow. I just want to put that out there. We don't have to call it SestraNow. We could call it whatever our coalition decides to call it. And all of us put all of our content, of course, it has to be consistent in terms of the topic, right? But we're all business owners, right? So if you put your stuff on there, Thelma, about your skincare, and Adrian puts her safety stuff, and Carmen puts her finance stuff, and I put whatever I want to put about sisterhood, whatever we call that channel, you know what's going to happen? It's going to blow up because we're all focused on the same thing.
Exactly.
But we can't do it.
100%.
But we can't do it, right, Thelma? Because now I'm doing my thing. I got my thing. I got to do my thing.
Right. If you have 4, dedicated people, just like you said, and we agree to go on here and we set up a plan, we set up a process that we're going to do this, we should try it. We really should, because everybody knows somebody that may need the help. And that's another thing. People don't share information.
Yes.
They don't share.
That's
They
fact.
really don't.
All right. I'm gonna move on to
Right. But that's a great idea. I love that.
I mean, look,
I'm gonna tell you.
that's the mission for SestraNow,
Yeah.
sis. Let me tell you. But go ahead.
No, I'll be 65 next year. Okay. So what my main goal now is to try to put good stuff out in the universe. I'm not looking to get rich and all that kind of stuff. I want to make some money, yeah. But I need to pass on certain things that I know to other people. And that's what I'm focusing on right now. And if I become rich in the process, great. Let's all go on a cruise. You know what I'm saying? You know, but we gotta band together and do something.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Okay, so I want to move on. Thank you for your comments, Adrian and Velma and Carmen. So I want to move on to number 10. All right. There is a difference between how you respond to a cold message and a message from someone you know. Right? So what I mean by that, if it is a cold message, we understand that in Facebook and all these social media platforms, we got all these scam artists and all these people that are in our inbox trying to sell us something, and they don't know us, right?
Right.
However, when you receive a message from someone that you do know, right?
Right.
How is it that you ignore them? My message here is they are never going to forget that, and that relationship is never going to be the same when you do that. And it happens. The reason I'm saying that these are my pet peeves, it happens a lot. It happens more often than you would think.
Exactly.
Right? So that's going to help me segue into the next. Ghosting in business is unacceptable and disrespectful.
Yes.
Right? I believe you guys would agree with me. My goodness.
Yes.
Show up for the meeting, especially if it's a Zoom meeting and you agree to it.
Yep.
Call when you say you're going to call, especially when in an email or some other type of inbox communication, you said, I'm going to call you at 5 p.m. Eastern. By God, call them. What kind of unprofessional mess is this going on these days where you're sitting alone on a Zoom, where you're looking at your phone at that time and the person's not calling you?
Yeah.
Give the courtesy of a response, even if you are not interested. If you know the person, I'm not talking about cold messages or cold calling. I'm talking about you know that person. And they, oh my goodness, I don't want to say it. But if I start saying names, you could have known the person for 15, 20 years. What, they forgot again?
No, I know. Wow.
Give the courtesy of a response, even if you're not interested. Tell them I'm not going to be able to make it again. Because you know what happens? Going back to number 10, they are never going to forget that. And going back to number 1, what I said in number 1, they may be a small business owner today, but when they blow up, right? And now you see that there's some money involved. What are they going to think about you? They're never gonna forget that experience with you. So you're messing yourself up.
First impressions.
Right.
All impressions matter. Again, to the title of this workshop, all impressions matter. Give the courtesy. What I mean, maybe I'm old. I don't know. I'm gonna be 55 in August, right? Maybe I'm old. Maybe, kind of being growing up in the 80s, in a household and going to school in the 80s and the 90s. Maybe I'm just, out of the loop. But you know what? I want to be out of the loop then. If common courtesy is the old-fashioned way of doing things, then that's just what I'm gonna be, old-fashioned, because that's so disrespectful to not to ghost people when you say, oh, I don't know right now, but let me get back to you. I'm gonna get back to you. Then you know what that message is? You don't matter to them. They don't respect you. And if they forgot, you're not important to them. So don't feel bad when that person treats you accordingly, according to your level of disrespect toward them. When you're ready to connect with them and they're behaving like, oh, I don't know, or not as you would like, maybe you forgot about it, but understand that that does not go away. Before I go into number 12, anyone wants to share on that? The ghosting is out of control these days. That's my perspective.
That's true though.
Yeah,
It's happening more and more. It's happening more and more.
Ghosting is, and then you know what I'm hearing too? We're going longer than I wanted to go, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna wrap this up. So I hear that it's happening in the workplace, corporate America, where people are interviewing for jobs and then just ghosting the employer, just taking the job and not showing up at all, going through the whole interview process, and then they don't show up because they took another job. Isn't that crazy? Right? So my point is, like, this is out of control. That is completely unacceptable, and it's very, very disrespectful to the person. So moving on to number 12, proofread, proofread, proofread. Right? Everything that you put out there, the signs, your marketing materials, your posts, do what you can to take a quick look at it, because people judge you according to your ability to spell, according to your grammar, and it's no excuse for that, because today you have the spell correct, you have the grammar correct. When you see that thing, there's a little red, fix it. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
That's my biggest pet peeve when I see a brick and mortar place and the sign is misspelled. I'm thinking, how many people, the person that created the sign, the person that directed the sign to be created, and then after it's up, all of those people, no one saw the sign was misspelled?
Ain't it a mess?
Right?
It's a mess.
So, say it again?
I said it's a mess. It is.
Yeah. Like you keep it up there. What is you keep it up there misspelled because what? Like I don't want to go through the trouble. It's like, just come on. Business is you must be professional. You must, take that sign down and correct it. And the person that's creating the sign, if they can't spell, shame on them.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to the last slide. And then I want to say another thing, and then I want you guys to share maybe your pet peeves. But go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have nothing to say.
Oh, okay. So the last one, stop monitoring and stealing from other business owners.
Jesus.
Their content. This is disrespectful and in very poor taste. Social media materials are available to everyone. It is easy to research and confirm whether someone was already doing something or whether they stole it from you. So just saying, oh, I was already doing that is not a good answer.
No.
You're a thief. Stop doing that. Stop participating just to gather and steal ideas and steal things, because the person is not, the other business owner is not an idiot. They can just go to your page. They can go to your whole social media and know you was not doing that before. So stop it. So these are my pet peeves, and I'm sure you have your own. So feel free to share. And this is recorded. Share in the comments. I would love some back and forth. And before I go to ask anyone else, I want to share this one. I want to ask a question, because this was something, because I'm not perfect, right? But I want to ask this question. How do you guys feel about the 2-week notice thing in corporate America? as far as business etiquette, because I actually never did it in my entire life, but I did it a couple years ago. I did it. I did not give notice. I gave same day notice, and then one time I gave 1 week notice. How do you guys feel about that?
It all depends on the situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Because employers do not give a darn about you when they're going to let you go. They don't think, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care that you have a family. They don't think, they don't care that you need to eat. They don't care that you got children to feed, and they will let you go the day of. So why, especially when you have been treating me horribly, and now you want me to stay there or train my replacement? No, that's a courtesy. That is not a right. That is not. And depending on, like I said, depending on the situation, I wouldn't care. I have left the job and didn't come back the next day. Like, I didn't even tell them I just did not come back, period. Because you just can't treat people any way that you want. Okay? You can't just treat people. I know someone right now in my family that is going through something with an employer, and they're giving them notice. And I think that they should count their lucky stars that they're giving them notice. And I think, to be honest with you, it's also beneficial to them. That's why they're giving them notice. But let's say they were in a position not to give them notice, they would be in their right to do that, because employers do some crappy things. I was going to say a different word. But that's all I wanted to chime in on that. Yeah, I don't think people have to. It all depends.
And anyone else? Because personally, that's the reason I did, because when they're ready to walk you out, and I've watched this, especially in corporate America, you find out after you do your work for the day most times, and the security guard comes and they walk you out. They don't tell you in 2 weeks, that's it.
Nope, they sure don't. They be like, bye-bye. Or better yet, you come in the morning, clock in, and then the security guard comes and walks you behind out. You're like, what? Or be like, oh, they need you in human resources for a minute. You know, stuff like that. Like Clara said, depending on what the situation is, you know, I'm like, no, like you said, I'll leave and I'm not coming back the next day. I'm done. Deuces. But it's a courtesy to give them that 2 weeks. It's nothing in writing saying we have to give them 2 weeks.
That's right.
It's just a courtesy, you know, especially if it was a job that, you know, you gained your experience. It wasn't no really hard feelings, but you just knew for yourself that you need to move on. Then it's a courtesy. I'm going to give you your 2 weeks. But if you've been treating me like crap the whole time we've been working, I might do what Carmen did. Just clock out that day and that's it. I'm done. So I think it's important, you know.
Calvin, did you want to say something? I have another point I wanted to make, and then we're gonna wrap this up.
No, I'm agreeing with everybody, because I learned this really late, and I don't know whether the law is state by state, but just like they say, if an employer, I'm in Maryland, if an employer can get rid of you in 1 day, you can leave in 1 day.
Absolutely.
So I learned that late, because we always had to get the 2 week notice. No, you don't. Because they can fire you in 1 day. That means you can leave in 1 day. Yes, ma'am.
We're free. No more slavery. It's like,
no, ma'am. That's right. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. Yeah.
Remember back in the day, ladies, sisters, how you used to, after the period, do 2 spaces, and then the young people these days say, you're free, you don't have to do the 2 spaces, stop doing it. The same thing is true with these type of things. We don't have to do it.
No, you don't. No.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Here in Georgia, it's a right, right to work. I think will to, I forgot the term.
At will. That's what that means.
So you know, they don't even have to give you a reason for terminating you. They don't even have to tell you why. They don't have to have just cause. They don't have to have, they have to give you a reason. That's it. We're done. We don't need you anymore. Thank you for your service, but we're out. And that's the
And that's
same
what
with
I would tell them. I'm done with your services. I don't need you anymore.
exactly.
All right, after this next question, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna wrap this up. Now, this is the next one for you guys. How do you guys feel about separating religion from business? We're on the Zoom right now. And
Okay.
then someone decides to get the Holy Ghost or the Holy Spirit, right? In the middle of a business meeting, because they feeling it. Like, is that proper business etiquette if they just got the Holy Ghost? Like, how
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well,
that's
I mean,
a loaded
I
question.
mean, I don't know.
what?
That's kind of, right. I mean, I guess if they got the Holy Spirit for real, I guess it would maybe the business meeting was just filled with the Holy Ghost. I mean,
Yeah.
and they were consumed by it. I don't know, like because
Never experienced that.
listen. No, that's all.
Yeah, I've never
Oh,
experienced that either. So
she
yeah.
said, "Oh no, I've never." Yeah. Well, that goes back to the separation of church and state. You really not supposed to
Okay,
mix
so
the two.
let's keep it in perspective. We're small business owners, right? And we know that in corporate America, you don't do that, right? And I'm saying this because I've had this discussion with someone recently where I had to speak on that, right? Because I'm a Christian, right? But
Mhm.
SestraNow is non-religious, but
Mhm.
I'm a Christian, right? So, but there's a time and a place for everything. To me, I look at my business as the billion-dollar business that it will be, right? So when you go to corporate America and you go to your cubicle, and next time you do not get on your desk and tell everybody, please grab their Bibles. It is time to get a word. You
No.
don't do that because what they're gonna have
No.
the paddy wagon waiting for you
Yeah.
downstairs, or HR is gonna call you in. So why should we, on our Zoom meeting, the small business owner, whether it's your Zoom, Thelma, yours, Carmen, or yours, Adrian, why should someone come on there and feel as if they're gonna have church on your Zoom business meeting?
That's
Can I
just
I
say
for
say
you
something?
to handle that. Yeah, you just got to take control and handle that, And although it might be, although it might be uncomfortable, it's just got to happen. This is not the time and place for that. And if the person disagrees, then that's fine because then you know that that's what they will be doing all of the time.
Mhm.
And then you don't really need them there.
No.
So that's if that happens in the middle of a meeting, we're gonna just have to table that and bring the Holy Spirit a little bit later. And you have to specifically come here. You have to specifically take control and nip that in the bud right there and then. Not after the meeting, not tomorrow, but right there and then. Because it wouldn't happen anyplace else.
Nope.
exactly. I think it is more like a over familiarity, right, with the leader, right, to think that they could do that because they would not do that should it be Biden, right? And they're in the Congress. It's not like they're going to do that. So that being said, I am going to wrap this up. I thank you, Sestra, so much for joining us tonight.
This was great.
Right, we need to do more of these. Most likely later this year, we'll redo this a little better. But for now, this will be on the SestraNow YouTube channel. And for all those watching, SestraNow has its own app for women. If you haven't done so already, please download it for free on the Google Play Store, SestraNow.com, or the Apple Store. Help us reach our goal of 1 million women on the app. And we're going to circle back and we're going to have that discussion about blowing up this social media by really, really uniting. So join us in our Facebook group and join us on the app for that discussion. Everyone have a good night.
Thank
All
you,
right,
dear.
good night.
I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. Good night. I enjoyed y'all. Okay.